Welcome back to another Solar Pros episode. Today we have literally a legend in the building, Mr. Thomas Tate. Dude, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, it truly, even though I see you all the time and you know, we're in meetings and we're always in communication, today is special for me because I take this episodes and this program very serious because I believe it's going to help somebody out there that otherwise might have never heard your story. And I know that your story, your ethics, your hard work is going to impact somebody through this interview. So
thank you.
Welcome. I'm glad we finally got you in here, man.
Thank you. It's been a while.
You're always working in the morning, man. You always got your appointments booked bright and early, so it's tough to get you out here. So, but I'm glad we made it happen.
Yeah, that's the best way to do. Early bird gets the worm.
Exactly, man. So tell us a little bit about your story, your background. You know, I know you got a military background. Maybe you want to touch on a little bit.
Well, I mean, I'm born and raised here in Yuma. That's why I know a lot of people. So that's a good thing. Family's been here since the 30s, and I went in the military and served military until I retired. When I retired, I came back with a wife and 3 kids, and came back to Yuma and did the same thing. Went and did the grind, doing the 8 to 5 job, and clocking in every day, going to work and all that, and it just, we weren't getting anywhere. So I did a few other jobs. I owned a limo company here in town. I worked for the government, worked for the military. I test drove vehicles out at the test track.
Oh, nice.
Corvettes and Camaros, doing the rounds and all that stuff. Then I left there and I started an alarm company. I went on the road for 9 months. I left Yuma. Did the door knocking for 9 months.
What areas did you go to?
I was in Kentucky, Pittsburgh, New York, Utah, Colorado.
Oh, so you
did all those places.
Really traveled.
I did the driving. I helped open up different offices.
Oh, okay.
And it was they called them summer sales, but it ended up being 9 months. That was
oh,
a long
wow.
summer.
That's a long summer.
So then
sounds like a Yuma summer.
It is, yeah. But after 9 months, I mean, never came back to Yuma. I was driving the whole time and hitting the places. Came back, and then I started my own alarm company here in town called TriSmart Alarms.
Yeah.
And then after a while, we were doing that. Did that for a couple years, and then they decided they were going to go solar. Well, I really didn't know much about solar, so I said no, I'll still do alarms. Well, then they became TriSmart Solar here in town, and a few of our guys that are with us right now went with TriSmart Solar, and they went to Texas, and they were doing purchases only.
Gotcha.
And so I kind of stayed here, did this, and then I got an opportunity where someone offered me saying, hey, we got a Son Edison's in Yuma, and they're looking for sales reps, and they need somebody that knows door to door, they know.
So you're like that. I know how to do that.
So I was like, I'll look into it. So I went to a couple of their meetings, did their little walk-ins and stuff, and I kind of liked what I was doing. So I went under a gentleman's name named Jeremy, and he taught me a few things about solar. I already knew basically how to do door-to-door with alarms. I knew that type of process. And I said, it should be an easy transition. So I transitioned into solar. We started doing that, and then Son Edison kind of backed out of Arizona when APS and Edison Electric was butting heads against each other. So they moved out of Yuma, and I had the opportunity with Spartan Solar. They came and offered me a job, so I sat down and had an interview with the co-owners.
Right.
And I thought it was a good fit for me. So I've been with him now, the owner, for about 4.5 years.
4 years,
and something like that.
I believe we were the first two Spartan. Yeah, right. It was right around
and you were already coming in.
You were already
signed on with him.
Exactly, and it's kind of funny how things worked out because prior to that we had ran into a couple of clients and everything, and you can always tell by meeting the client how good of a representative the other person is because the way they are educated and the way they say, well, you know what, I had someone explain this, offer me this. So we had some good competition. And I respect the fact that I'm not the only one in town that takes this job serious. Yeah. There's other people that if I got to step my game up, like you mentioned, and so we kind of met almost like competitors. I'm I'm finally going to meet
I'm on a few jobs.
Tom guys.
You took it from me, and I took it from you,
and it worked out, and it made us better, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I think it did. I think it did. It made us friends.
Yes. Once we met each other, I think that we have that mutual respect.
right.
And you know, maybe a different style. And this is what's great about solar or sales in general, that we can be completely different styles, completely age groups and whatever, you know, females, male, like it doesn't matter. Like you can be good at this no matter where you're at in your life, right? So you know, you were more in the back end of your career because you've already done so much. You've already had a client, a book of business, a huge book of business throughout your career. You've already done alarms. You've already opened an office throughout the country. And so solar came more, you know, later.
In the later ends, yeah.
And even though I've done a lot of things, you know, still solar was actually like my breakthrough, right? For you, you've already had other breakthroughs prior to that. For me, solar was my true first breakthrough because even though I did well enough in other industries in the past, it was kind of just like surviving, you know what I mean? Just making enough to get by. But solar was my first true breakthrough. And learning from people like you, meeting people like you was really helpful, especially at the beginning, because you really showed the way of being a professional, not just a salesperson. Because, guys, quite honestly, anybody can sell something, but are you a representative your clients can count on?
That's the name.
And that's what I've learned from you. And so 4 years now, we're going on 4 years. And since then, I can tell you, we've definitely been the top sales office for Titan Solar for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And at least for the last 3 years, we've been the top office, period, no matter who's out here, right? Because 4 years ago, there was still Solar City around. There was still
a couple other companies that were.
And so I know Solar City was really kicking it for a minute because they're, you know, they had a large office, a lot of guys out there, a lot of good guys that came from Solar City, started working with our team as well. Currently have a few guys that came from that background. So since then, we've definitely been the biggest game in town. That's for sure.
That is true. Yeah, we've come a long ways in 4 years.
Oh yeah,
From having no office to sitting in a warehouse, thinking we were going to get an office, sitting on milk crates, eating pizza, you know,
whatever it takes, right?
That's it. And then
humble beginnings.
Having no install crews here in Yuma.
They would have to come from Phoenix, and now we have 4 install crews at all times.
4 full-time install crews. We have like, I don't know, there's like 13 extra people at the office that do electrical. They have technicians. We have a great office manager for Titan. Raul is probably one of the best office managers.
Without a doubt. He just makes everything so simple. Whenever there's an issue, I've never had any pushback. I've never, you know, he never points a finger. He always, you know, steps up and gets it done.
He gets the job done. I mean, when you have good people that are backing you, like your owner's backing you 100%, your office manager, which is Amy, backing you 100%. She's giving 150% every day. I mean, she's up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning submitting documents.
Yes, shout outs to Amy. I know she'll be watching this show for sure, especially with Tom in as a guest. And for those that don't know her, like you mentioned, 150%. Every single one of our deals, our customers are better off, our reps are better off when Amy looks at it. Just by her looking at it, she can make it a better situation for everybody. And that's the unfair advantage that we have above any other team, any other company out there, is that we have people like Amy, we have people like Ross that are in the Titan office, in the trenches, making sure all the deals, everything is getting pushed
Fighting
through.
for our customers. That's the thing. They both fight for the customers. If it's the right thing to do, if it's the wrong thing to do, they tell us, and then we got to back off.
Absolutely.
But without those two, Ross and Amy, our office wouldn't be the number one.
That's what I like to call the D factor, right? And then we do our part. Right? You go out there and kill it with sales all the time. Like this man right here, man. Like, number 1 sales rep in Yuma, Arizona. I said it. Anybody that disagrees can shoot me a message, comment below, whatever. But I mean, we people lie, numbers don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we can look up the numbers, and you have more kilowatts than anybody. You have more deals than anybody. How many clients in Yuma, Arizona overall would you say you have? Over not just with Spartan, but overall.
In my career with solar, probably 500 plus.
500 plus.
Yeah,
right?
Probably 500 plus.
And let's kind of shift gears a little bit, because I know you're out of those 500 plus. What number are those are prepaid leases?
Prepaid leases probably last time I checked, probably about in the 80s, high 80s
In the
right
80s.
now. Yeah, I just did two this week.
This week. So I think you're going to get to 100 before the end of the year with all the snowbirds coming in. It
trying to
elaborate a little bit more on what kind of client really fits the mold for a prepaid lease.
Well, on prepaid, you have your three typical programs. You have your purchase, you have your lease, and then you have a prepaid lease, which is, I say, the best of both worlds. On your purchase, you have your tax advantage. You have your 30% tax credit from IRS that's actually ending this year. Then it's going to drop down to 26, and then the year after that's going to drop down again. Then they may sign a new bill. We don't know. But right now, if you take advantage of that 30% on a prepaid, the company uses that tax incentive, so they give you a better break. So say a system is $15,000.
Right.
Well, on a prepaid, they give it to you for around 10.5, like the one I did yesterday. Well, if you did a purchase, it would be around 15,000. Then you get your 30% back. You're looking at around 4,500.
Yeah.
And maybe 200 or 300 from state if you qualify. Most winter visitors don't because they're not a state resident.
Right.
They own a house here. They can file federal taxes.
So they can't take advantage.
They don't take advantage of the state. So, with the company, they give you a little bit more, so you drop it down a little bit more. They file. You don't have to worry about waiting for it for a year.
And have to deal with your CPA or tax
none of that stuff.
Credits, all that.
They take care of everything for you.
And for 25 years,
You're
just
covered.
like the standard lease.
Just like standard lease. People don't like leases to say, I have a 25-year payment. Well, yeah, you have a 25-year payment, but in that 25 years is you got warranties, you got insurance, you got $2 million limited liability on your house.
And you're locking in the rate.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
You're going to have an electrical bill for the rest of your life. So why not lock in a rate for 25 years? But if you can do a prepaid, it's even better.
Normal lease is between 12.5 and 13 cents. Purchases around 6.8 cents per kilowatt.
Yep.
But on a prepaid, the one I did yesterday was 5.2 cents.
5.2 cents. Okay. Do you know how much he was paying for average?
16.
So you took him from 16 cents. Folks, get this. 16 cents is what he's currently paying with his electrical company. He prepaid for this system. So for the next 25 years, his electrical cost will be 5 cents.
5 cents.
A third, more than a.
Yeah. And for the next 10 years, he's locked in for 11.6 buyback.
So double, whatever he doesn't use, APS is going to give him double what he's paying for that.
So on his system, in 8 years of what he would normally pay APS, it would be paid off his system.
Right.
Okay. After 8 years, it's free money. Now, if you do a purchase, it's basically the same thing, but you have to wait for your taxes to come back, and if you can claim the whole thing the first year, second year, and on a lease, you're paying for 25 years, and you're saving money, yes, but prepaid's where you're gold.
Yeah.
If you're paying 10.5 on a prepaid, that means on a lease after 25 years, you're probably paying 25. So you're saving $15,000 over 25 years by just going prepaid.
Yeah. What would that? So you said it was what 10.5 is what he paid. What would 10.5 do for him in the bank?
He told me the same thing. He says that he's got it sitting in an account, and he says he draws about $1.50 a month or a year on that.
Right.
And I have money in the savings, and it doesn't draw much. I mean, I see those interest things at the end of the year when I file taxes, and I say, hey, you get $1.17 for your savings account.
When you have money in the bank, you're losing it because it doesn't even keep up with inflation.
That's it. With $10,000 today, 5 years down the road, that's about $8,000 worth what you could buy today for 10. It's around $8,000 5 years from now. So you're investing in yourself. Yeah. Plus, if you get ready to sell the place, you can add that back into your price of your house.
Of course, because the solar's already paid for.
So you can add, $8,000-$9,000 to it and say, hey, you have no payments for 25 years. You're locked in. It transfers, which is nice.
So for those people who have heard about those standard leases where you pay those monthly fees, right, for your solar, or the purchase offer where you can take advantage of the tax credit, and you didn't really fit in either of those, you should really contact Tom, look into prepaid, because he's the prepaid king. You probably have more prepaid clients than 80% of the solar guys in this city have clients in general. So when it comes to prepaid and solar in general, man, like I said, you're a legend, and we all learn so much from you. And the prepaid leases is something that I've recently really started paying more attention, and that's because all the testimonials you share with your clients, and some people are in that position, right? They have enough money to be able to cover the solar instead of leaving it in a retirement account or savings that's not going to draw any interest back into your pocket.
Where this
right?
is every month that you don't pay APS a bill. Say that his bill was $110.
Yeah.
Well, that's $110 that month that his 10,000 drew in interest.
That's more than he would have gone all year at the
way
bank.
over a year.
Yeah.
Way over a year.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a 10% return
right
on his $10,000 investment. So in the summertime, when his bill's $200 a month, and he may have a $15 or $20 or $30 bill, but he's still saving $200. That means that 10,000 investment that month drew $200 in interest on that money, because you still own that. I mean, that system's on your roof, that $10,000. That's an investment that you got a better return than it's sitting in the bank.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's like buying gold.
Yeah. Be smart with your money, folks. Talk to Tom. He'll take care of you. And so you go into this deep, man, because I know your driving force is really caring about people, right? And understanding their situation and being able to provide them the best option. And so what is it that keeps you motivated, man, at this stage? What is it that, what does a normal day on Thomas Tade's world look like?
I mean, being a retired military, I still have that mentality of getting up early in the morning.
Yeah.
So I get up early in the morning every morning. Usually I have my grandkids at the house because my daughter and my son-in-law work. So when they're both working, he works for CareFlight or Air Methods. He's on the helicopter and the airplane, so he works 48-hour shifts. So they stay with us. We take them to the bus stop. But get up, before 6 in the morning. Just do a little bit. Sometimes we'll work out, go out in the pool, maybe swim a little bit, get some exercise going.
And by the way, that pool's looking incredible, man.
Thanks, man.
I'm sure your grandkids are enjoying it.
They do enjoy it. They do enjoy it. They think it's cold right now.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. But do that in the morning. Then I get on my computer and I look at my projects, what I had going, who I need to talk to, where I need to go. I set my day up. I already have appointments set up for the day, but I set up in between those appointments because you don't want to waste time.
Right.
And I treat my job as a 8-hour day. So I go out and I work. I come home sometimes for lunch. Sometimes I don't have time for lunch, but I go out and I hit my jobs. I stop at old customers, see how they're doing. Sometimes I just drive by and I say, oh, that's one of mine. I pull over, look at their inverter, make sure their panels are all loaded up. There are 28 out of 28s working. I just do that. I don't have to, but it's something I want to do. And while I'm there, they say, hey, how's things going?
All of a sudden,
then I get a referral.
Yeah.
Referral's the big thing. You go back to your customers, keep going, you get a referral out of them, and because they're happy. As long as you have a happy customer, life is good. You make a enemy out of a customer, and then life is bad.
And to be quite honest, not every job goes perfect.
No,
right?
I don't.
But the biggest key that I've seen from you, whenever there's an issue, you step up. I mean, you show up in their doorstep and you take care of it. You handle it. I've been with Ross when you've called him, and you're like so you're so involved, to the point where it seems like, are you part of the installation team? But that's how much you care about your customers. You're not those guys that, my job is just to provide you the contract. You got to talk to customer service about that. You got to talk to the installation team about that. You get involved all the way, and you make sure that they're satisfied.
I was already at one of my job sites
this morning, right?
Installed, and I was there before 7 in the morning, and went and talked to the owner and everything. We had a little problem, but we got it straightened out and everything. So that's all it is, talking to them.
And if you wouldn't have shown up, then that little problem could have turned into a big problem.
Yeah, it could have got really escalated out of control, and because the installers are they're doing what their paperwork says. The customer thought that they were supposed to be doing something else because we talked about one thing, but then I went back and talked to the husband. He didn't convey to the wife on what was going on, so she was a little upset. So it's you just got to calm down and explain, what you're doing and why you're doing it, why it has to be in that place on the roof. A lot of people don't understand. They're like, well, I don't want them here or here. We have to go where the sun is. We have to go where we're giving you the best production.
Exactly. That's why we're doing
price.
This. Yeah.
We're not engineers by trade, but we become engineers.
Yeah.
And we tell them where we want to put them, but then the engineers that are designing it tell us this is how the best way to be, and then we have to explain that to the customer. If we don't go back and explain that to the customer, then we have
a problem.
customers.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And to wrap it up, as far as our team is concerned, because I'm thinking of some of the 20-year-old guys that we have, and some of the women and guys, and like the diversity that we have on our team. What do you feel that really keeps? Because it's hard to be able to have a team where it could be a great home for you. It could be a great home for a 20-year-old. What is it that you feel that, it's that difference maker that we don't see in a lot of other places in this community that we've built through Spartan?
Well, I think with Spartan, what I like about Spartan is we treat our team as a family. And that's what I understand. There's not one person, even the owner, Ross, doesn't come in here and beat his chest like a gorilla and say, I'm the top dog.
Yeah.
He learns from us.
Yeah.
I learn from you. I don't treat you as you're younger than me, you got to listen to me. I mean, we have a big age difference, but I wish I could go back to your age. I wish I could go back to that 20-year-old age and start in this industry at 20.
Imagine that.
Because, I mean, the knowledge that these guys are getting right now at the age of 20, to be at the age of 58, everybody says I'm 85, but I'm really not. I'm just giving you guys, it's great, but that's about it. But the knowledge that you could have starting at 20 in this industry, or even like what you and your wife now are starting your togetherness in your business. I mean, I know she left her career to join your career, which you guys have a vision. And you got to have a vision. That's the thing. Me and my wife, we're partners in ours. I'm Spartan to the heart. I'll be honest, I'll always be a Spartan. This company, this industry is a great industry. You can go work anywhere. I've had multiple offers to go different companies.
Yes.
They're throwing me out. They want to pay me to come work for them. And I'm like, no, I'm doing good. Ross treats me good because he treats us as family.
Yeah.
And family, they always say, blood is thicker than water.
Oh, yeah.
In this company, in this office, Spartan, it's all blood. We're all family. And I'll stay with this company until I retire again. Even though you see my shirt, it says Tade Solar. You see my big truck running around town.
Well, we're all independent contractors, so
it.
we all have our independent LLCs and all that good stuff. But
I'm still a Spartan.
And we're all solar pros.
That's right.
That's the key. This is where the solar pros come and practice. This is it. And
there's other companies out there. There's other offices out there. But you know what? If you're seeing this podcast and you're seeing this anywhere on Facebook, the only company you come to is Spartan. I'm going to be honest. We're going to be upfront, honest with you. We're going to give you the best deals. You don't have to come to me. You don't have to come to Cesar. We have a bunch of other guys running around that say they're Spartan. Ask them who they work for. Ask them the office they work for. Don't take your first proposal from another company and say, okay, that's the best to do. A lot of them come out of town.
Yeah.
I remember the door knocking. I remember the summer sales. They knock your door and say, hey, we're here. Then you don't see them ever again.
Right.
That's the thing.
Fly by night.
We're here. I'll give you my address. Give you Cesar's address. You can come visit us at our house. He has solar on his house. I have solar on my house. I can't sell something to somebody or promote something if I don't have it.
I've had solar for the last 5 years at our old house, at our new house.
Me too.
And, so.
I have all my kids have solar on their homes.
Yep.
It isn't like I forced them to have it. They saw where my bills were I was saving. In 4.5 years, I can only say only one bill's been higher than $20.
Wow.
In
Yuma, Arizona.
In Yuma. And I have a pool and we have a jacuzzi and I don't have a big system. Yeah. You just got to know how to use your system.
Absolutely.
And that's it. And having the sales rep and the company explain how to use your system.
Nice.
If you don't know how to use your system,
that's when you run into problems.
That's the problem. Yep.
Well, you heard it from the man himself, Thomas Tate, again, a legend in this industry. So it was great having you on this show. Looking forward. We got to do this again, man.
Oh, we will. But I want to do one more shout out. Amy, I know you're watching this. Thank you. And we all love you for what you do.
Absolutely. Catch you guys on the next Solar Pro episode.